Good morning and welcome to Thought for July the 28th. Our readings are 2 Samuel 14, Jeremiah chapter 18 and Romans chapters 1 and 2. And our thought is the power of God. Paul, in writing to the Romans, speaks about the power of God, but he's not referring to physical power such as will be shown at the time Jesus returns, when the greatest earthquake ever, as Revelation 16 verse 18 has it, and other terrible events occur. This could be very soon. God gave Isaiah a vision of this time about events around Jerusalem, codename Ariel, the city where David encamped, verse 1. And how God deals with the multitude of all nations that fight against Mount Zion, verse 8. Note especially verses 5 to 7. We can reason that some of these events have a spiritual interpretation as the hearts of people tremble in fear. But there is no doubt that there is a remarkable and totally awesome physical manifestation of God's power. But in today's first chapter of Romans, Paul writes of the gospel, saying, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes." Verse 16. What is the point of Paul writing that he is not ashamed of the gospel? Well, I recall a Hindu, the manager of a hotel at which I was staying, asked me to tell him about the Christian God, as he could no longer believe the nonsense about an elephant-headed God. Paul's point is that the gospel makes sense compared to the nonsense surrounding the many gods of human imagination that the Romans believed in. Today we can say it makes sense compared to the nonsense of evolution, that everything that exists sort of invented itself, and there is no need for a creator God. But we need to take this one step further and realize that to believe a gospel about believers having a future life in heaven is also nonsense, and as a falsehood has no power at all. It is only the gospel God revealed to men through his Son that has power, because it is truth. Because it is based on historical facts, because the events of the first century and what followed only make sense when we accept them as truth. The evidence of them is so strong, it had the power to turn the beliefs of the pagan Roman world upside down. We must let this gospel become a power in our lives, if we are to really live a life worth living now and experience the wonder of the far greater life God will provide in the future. Well, thank you once again for joining us for Thought for the Day, where together we can open up the pages of God's Word, remembering that that Word is a lamp to our feet and a light to our path.